safeties are all right. Now Clayton runs past him. Marino lays it up and to the outside, and it's 2 play-action touchdowns off of the same tight end motion to try and fill the safeties and the corners. The reason the Dolphins have been successful is that the Rams have such good vision in their defensive backs. They all look into the backfield, they see what's happening, and they thought that time it was another run.
And so Marino with touchdown passes to 3 wide receivers, Mark Duper, James Pruitt, and Mark Clayton. Backs on the return. And here's Charles White to the 50, the 20, the 25, and returns it to the 30-yard line. And now will the Rams be throwing more?
I don't think so yet. There's no need for them to go away from their game plan. I mean, Eric Dickerson is still the great back he's always been, despite the fact they're down by 14 points. And if they get away from the game plan this early, it forces the Dan Marino back on the field that much more. They have to stay to their game plan to try to give Marino that many fewer opportunities.
And you can see their play selection is
as even as the Dolphins was, just about.
From the 30-yard line, first down, 2 tight ends on the set for the Rams. And here's Dickerson. Healing up with a couple of yards on the play. Mike Brown with the tackle, and Miami had a shot to drop him for a loss. Larry Kolick is the man who brought him down. And they're going to mark it at the 32-yard line. It'll be second down and 8. 3:49 and counting. That is the time remaining in the first half, and the numbers of Eric Dickerson. Again, Barry Redden, bothered by the flu this morning, went to the hospital, had an IV, is in uniform, and he has not played. The other back behind Dickerson, and he's such a great blocker, they really miss him. This is Dickerson at the 29. It's going to be third down and 1. Kolick with the tackle. And the loss of Barry Redden is going to loom large in that running attack of the Rams. A check of the games in progress. San Diego has added 3 more, and Houston now in front of Minnesota. And remember, Minnesota, they've got to win to keep any kind of an opportunity going for them in the playoffs. Down, just under 2 to go for the first down. And here's Dickerson, and it may be close. Let's see where they spot it. John Offerdahl was there to meet him right at the 30-yard line. It's a first down.
And that is a situation in particular where Barry Redden's absence really hurts the Rams. As you mentioned earlier, Don Shula unhappy with the mark of that play.
40-yard line, first down. Did I say 30-yard line? I think I meant it. The report on Roy Foster is a sore left knee, and he should return to the ballgame. Miami on top, 21-7. Everett goes deep right side. The pass is complete to Henry Ellard, and it's a first down at the Miami 45. A gain of 16.
Here's Henry Ellard working against Renee Thompson up top, and he's got such great deep speed that Thompson has to respect that. You saw Ellard go at his inside shoulder, and Renee Thompson worried about that deep pattern, allowing Ellard to come back and make the catch along the sideline.
And that is the extra dimension that Jim Everett has brought to the Rams. And here's Dickerson. And he is just a yard to the 44, second and 9, as Mike Charles makes the tackle for Miami. How do you stop an Eric Dickerson?
Well, the Dolphins, again, are trying to do it with that 5 linebacker formation, but as of yet, they have been running the football as many times as they can to Dickerson. They haven't stopped him completely or shut him down yet.
And the 2-minute warning will now be given to both benches. The score is Miami 21, the Rams 7. 2 minutes to go in the first half. We'll be back in just a moment. Chuck Studley, defensive coordinator of the Dolphins.
And he's been under some pressure in Miami. Of course, Bill Arnsparger leaving a few years ago, and Chuck Studley coming in as the defensive coordinator. And the defense has not played very well, but there's also a couple of other things going on. They lost a number of players, such as A.J. Dewey to injury. Bob Baumhauer had a number of injuries. So it's not completely on the shoulders of Chuck Studley.
Who's playing pretty well today. Everett goes deep, has a man, and he misses him, Henry Ellard. And Ellard was hoping the pass would be a little later on the break. Did I read that correctly?
Well, no, there was a mistake on somebody's part. It was either Jim Everett who threw the ball in the wrong place, but more than likely it was Henry Ellard who ran the incorrect pattern. It seemed that Renee Thompson forced him to the inside. And he broke back out knowing he had to go over there, but that's not the way he wants to run that corner pattern. It seemed he was forced to the inside by Renee Thompson and stuck. Everett simply getting rid of the ball, and fortunately for the Rams, not intercepted.
Third down and 9, 3 wide receivers for Los Angeles. Everett steps forward, he's shut down, and he is sacked. Loses the ball. It is recovered by Pankey. Irv Pankey recovers it. And that will be the 3rd sack for the Miami Dolphins. And Fred Robinson gets his 2nd.
And Jim Everett is usually very adept at getting rid of the pressure, stepping up into the pocket. He does it this time, but he has nowhere to go. He's pinned in from the backside. The fumble comes out, and Irv Pankey with the recovery. George Little playing a pretty good football game, though. The book on him was that he did not rush the passer very well, had trouble with his hands getting rid of an offensive lineman in front of him. But thus far, he seems to be playing that position fairly well.
Either Craig Ellis or Mike Kozlowski will be returning the kick of Dale Hatcher.
And the Dolphins are switching those 2 receivers back and forth to try to confuse Hatcher as to which side he wants to go to.
Fair catch is called for and taken at the 5-yard line. Now, that's a mistake.
That's a big mistake on the part of Ellis. Major mistake. Yeah. First of all, you stand on the 10-yard line, and if the ball goes over your head, you just stand still. Don't call for a fair catch, because if you call for the fair catch, you can't come up and block somebody coming downfield. Ellis did 2 things wrong. One, calling for the fair catch, and then actually going ahead and catching the football.
So Miami takes over on just inside their own 5-yard line. Here's another look.
There you see he was standing on the 10-yard line, and the ball obviously over his head. That's where the punt returner has to say, forget it. It's going to go into the end zone. But the young player back there has not been returning it all year. In fact, James Pruitt, the wide receiver, number 82, who caught a touchdown earlier, was the return man and was leading the conference, but couldn't hang on to the football, and the Dolphins decided to pull him back there.
Officially, the ball marks at the 5-yard line. And we have some jumping on the left side. That is Dellenbach, who had motion. And a note as far as the Rams offense is concerned. Now, they are without Ron Brown, the great wide receiver, out with that shoulder separation. They're going with 44 players because they don't want him to put IR.
Start. Number 65 on the offense. Still first down.
They'll take the ball back to almost the 2. It's going to be 2nd down. And the reason they don't want to put Ron Brown on injured reserve, he'd be out for 4 weeks, and that, now you're getting into playoff time. They think he can come back from the shoulder separation. But also, he returns kicks. So the Rams have started drives at the 20, the 21, and the 30-yard line after Dolphin touchdown. So they miss him there also. Now let's see what the Ram defense can do to the Dolphin offense at the Miami 2.
Well, the crowd wants to get into the football game. There's a big sign on the scoreboard yelling defense. The crowd is trying to force the Dolphins into some cadence problems there in the closed end of the end zone.
Here's Davenport. Davenport is out to the 10-yard line. So he'll get about 8 yards. Between 7 and 8 yards to the 10. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Johnny Johnson with the tackle. We'll take a timeout as there's timeout on the field, and we'll be back in just a moment. Gets a call again. He goes to the 18-yard line and picks up the first down. Vince Newsom with the tackle. There's the score. Miami 21, the Rams 7, and the time remaining in the first half. Last week in New Orleans, Miami led at halftime 31-10, and then they had to hold off the troops to hold on to that ball game.
And actually, the Saints came back to score a touchdown and take the lead with a couple of seconds left. But Reuben Mays, who had 203 yards rushing against the Dolphin defense, was offsides. The play was called back, and the Saints wind up losing the ball game.
And with 3 timeouts left for Miami and 2 from the Rams, they both decide we'll just settle for this score and we'll take the countdown to the halftime. So it is halftime with the score Miami 21 and the Los Angeles Rams 7. And the first half, you could label it Dan Marino with touchdown passes to Mark Duper, to James Pruitt, and to Mark Clayton of 69-6 and 43 yards. Quite an offensive display.
Watching the Dolphins-Rams game, Bob Costa's back with Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire. Interesting developments elsewhere. Kansas City late in the first half at the Coliseum, leading the Raiders 20-10. Let's take a look at one play from that game. Bill Kenny returns from the bruised thumb, which sidelined him a week ago, and he hits this one to Stephon Page, a nicely timed 26-yard touchdown, part of the 20-point outburst by Kansas City. The game has now gone to the half. At one point, the Chiefs led 17-0, but remember, earlier this year at Arrowhead, they led 17-0 over the Raiders, and Los Angeles came back to win. The winner of this game controls its own destiny. Whichever team wins this game will lock up a wild card if they win their final game next week. Kansas City closes against the Steelers on the road. The Raiders have Indianapolis at home. Seattle is playing at San Diego. The Chargers just scored last minute of the first half to tie that game at 17. Miami and the Rams, the game you're watching, 3 more touchdown passes for Marino, 39 for the year. No one else in the league has as many as 30, 21-7 in favor of the Dolphins in this one. Minnesota is trailing at Houston 13-7. They're late in the second quarter. If Minnesota should lose this game, then the Rams and San Francisco have clinched playoff spots. They are at least wild cards. And then the winner of the game on Friday night could possibly be the division champion. That's if the Rams should lose today to Miami. San Francisco would have a crack at the division title by beating the Rams next Friday. But if Minnesota loses today, both the 49ers and the Rams, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, are at least wild card teams. Earlier today, Cleveland clinched in the AFC Central. The Bengals are in some trouble now. 34-3 was the final score at Riverfront. And here's one play from that game. Bernie Kosar with a 46-yard first-quarter touchdown pass to Webster's Slaughter. Kosar had a big day, about 250 yards in the air. Cleveland controlled it from the outset, and they win it 34-3. Celebration in the end zone for Webster's Slaughter. Championship in the AFC Central for Marty Schottenheimer's Browns. Paul McGuire?
Bob, you know, everybody gives credit to the offense, but if you're going to look at the Cleveland Browns, give credit to 2 people, the 2 corners. The job that they did today shutting down Cincinnati's wide receivers was spectacular.
And what about Cincinnati's ground game? Here's a team that had accumulated better than 400 yards in total offense 5 consecutive weeks. Browns stop them cold.
What happened with the Cincinnati Bengals is they ran into a team that's looking forward to the playoffs. This Cleveland Brown team, I don't know what you can say about them, but they did it the way it should be done. They are gaining momentum on their way into the playoffs. You win a game like that at the end of the season, you are a strong football team.
San Francisco 49ers win on the road at Foxborough, 29-24. The final score in that game, and some highlights. Raymond Berry along the sidelines, watching his team's playoff chances dealt a considerable blow, although they can still come out all right if they win next Monday night at Miami. Here is Joe Cribbs, check it, Roger Craig, with a 17-yard run in the second quarter down to the 16-yard line. 3 plays later, Craig scored from a yard out. San Francisco led at that point. A seesaw affair. This third-quarter touchdown of 4 yards by Tony Collins gives New England the lead at 17-16. But after the 49ers had come back to lead again, this proved to be the touchdown that iced it in the fourth quarter. Joe Cribbs scoring from 10 yards out gave them the lead at 29-17. Late in the game, Tony Eason hit Stanley Morgan with a 15-yarder. Too little, too late. San Francisco wins it 29-24. The Giants are now 13-2 with a 27-7 win over the Cardinals at the Meadowlands. Bill Parcells' team is playing for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Right now, they've got a half-game lead on the Bears for best record in the conference, pending the outcome of the Bears game tomorrow night against the Lions. Here's Neil Lomax in some trouble. You know, folks, if only I knew which highlights these were. Neil Lomax in lots of trouble. Basically, this appears to be a montage of Neil Lomax in trouble, as best I can determine, and that was the story of the day as the Giants' defense was all over him. Joe Morris had a big day, too. 179 yards rushing. He had runs from scrimmage of 56 yards and 49 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns, 1, 2, and 3-yard runs. He's got 1,401 yards rushing for the season, second only to Eric Dickerson in the entire league. Elsewhere, Philadelphia beats Dallas 23-21 as Matt Cavanaugh throws a 31-yard touchdown pass to Kenny Jackson late in the game to win it. Not only are the Cowboys eliminated from the playoffs, but they're in danger of their first losing season since 1964. Indianapolis down 14-0, rallies and beats Buffalo 24-14, scoring all their points in the second half. So now under Ron Meyer, the Colts have won 2 in a row, and they're in danger of losing Vinny Testaverde and that first draft choice. New Orleans beats Atlanta 14-9, that game in Atlanta. Green Bay over Tampa Bay, and now Tampa Bay is 2-13, just like the Colts. 21-7, the final in that one. Back after this from your local stations.
4-yard line, Craig's out to the 15, and he returns to the 18 or the 19-yard line, where Miami will go to work in the second half. And I think it's, from Miami's standpoint, a break to start on offense, because that is their strong point. And if they could go with another long touchdown drive here, take some time off the clock, and build even more confidence to pull off the upset.
Well, it goes back to what we said about the Rams as you take a look at the possession for the Dolphins today. Actually, that fumble and interception was well inside of the territory of the Rams. It might have cost the Dolphins even a couple of more touchdowns.
The fumble at the 18, the interception in the end zone, and a flag is down. Lorenzo Hampton, the ball carrier. And this is a game that has been relatively free from officials' flags. Holding on Miami. John Robinson, the head coach of the Rams.
Holding, the left guard on the offense, still first down.
The penalty will take the ball back to the 9-yard line. And be first down and 19 as they split the difference to the goal line. To the near side at the bottom of the screen. Clayton at the top of the screen. Dan Johnson is the tight end. And Marino has pressure, and he throws, and it is incomplete. Clayton, the intended receiver. Irvin with the coverage. Is going to be second down. And a holding call is going to go against Miami. And Dwight Stevenson was saying, "Who, me?" The offensive center. This one they may refuse. They will refuse it.
Holding, number 65 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
Goes on the tackle, Jeff Dellenbach. So it's second down and 19 at the 9.
Second and 19.
Are the split back. Leno throws over the middle. The pass is complete to Hardy, the tight end, and Bruce is to the 17-yard line.
A safe call on the part of Marino on the Dolphins with that many yards to go for the first down. The holding penalty bringing them back deep within their own territory. A deep zone on the part of the Rams, and Bruce Hardy, the one who catches the ball, very consistent underneath the coverage. Let's take a look at Marino here, where he's looking. He always looks downfield first all the time, but in this particular case, wanted to go to Hardy right away.
Marino reads deep and then comes back short.
As opposed to many quarterbacks who do it the other way around.
Third down and 11. 6 in the secondary for the Rams. Here's the blitz, and it's picked up, and it is juggled incomplete. Clayton should have had it. He is exchanging statements with Jerry Gray, and then gets a bump from Tim Fox. And now he'd be pulled away in the first punt for Miami.
And that's a little frustration on the part of Clayton. Actually, the two passes, the two previous plays, he should have caught the football twice in that occasion, and he's yelling about the kind of an arm on him. Jerry Gray, just a little bit of a push at the end. No interference whatsoever, though that's just in the natural flow of a pass pattern. But Clayton a little frustrated, dropping two passes that he should have caught.
Nose guard to nose guard, or face guard to face guard. Reggie Roby, his first kick, leading punter in the NFL, almost blocked. Ellard is the deep back, and he's waving everybody off. It's going to be down at the 46-yard line. The Rams will have excellent field position, only 29 yards on the punt and Mickey Sutton is the man who downed it.
Let's see if he takes a little bit of extra time. He's had some trouble hanging on to the football. Reggie Roby has dropped 2 snaps right in his hand. Mickey Sutton, though, it didn't look like he took any more time, but Sutton coming across and getting the partial block, giving the Rams good field position.
This is Charlie Jones along with Jimmy Cefalo and Bob Greasy here at Anaheim Stadium. Miami out in front of the Rams 21-7. And Los Angeles with excellent field position from the Miami 47, and the quick hit to Henry Ellard, and the first down at the 33-yard line, gain of 14. And William Judson made the tackle. Let's go back to the punt and the play of Mickey Sutton that set up this field position. It was Sutton who got a piece of it.
Sutton gets around Hindle, number 90, and should have had the block. Roby, I think, readjusted the way he was kicking the football. If he hadn't, the ball would have been blocked.
First down at the Miami 33. Here's Dickerson, and he has room, and he spins to the 22-yard line. He'll have 11 yards and a first down. Jackie Slater with the key block. Bob Baumhauer and Glenn Blackwood with the tackle. Now, at the half, last week, Mays of New Orleans, 7 carries, 36 yards rushing. He ended up with 203 yards rushing. Dickerson with 41 in the first half.
Over the last 3 weeks, the Dolphin defense has played against the 3 top rushers in the NFL. Gerald Riggs 3 weeks ago had 172 yards. Mays, as you mentioned, Charlie, 203 last week. And now they have Eric Dickerson to contend with.
I gave the first down, and it's going to come up a little short. They're going to mark it at the 23 rather than the 22. So it is second down in inches, and this is a situation where Everett may want to go to the end zone. Best rushing performances against the Dolphins, Mays, or O.J. Simpson, of course, with the first 203, and then Mays, Campbell, McNeil, Gerald Riggs.
And 2 of those performances coming, as I mentioned, the last 3 weeks. It is a good time for them to go over the top. Everett likes the play-action pass, and this may be the occasion where he goes to it. They have a couple of more downs to go for the first down if they don't get it here.
And this is a running formation. And they stay with the run and the first down. Charles White leading the way for Eric Dickerson. Mark Brown and Bud Brown make the tackle just inside the 20. We'll call it the 19. It'll be a first down. And, of course, with Barry Redden, the fullback, and the excellent blocker for the Rams out with the flu, in case you joined us late. He went to the hospital and is back on the sideline but hasn't played. And Charles White is now in the block.
And 2 components of their offense are not there today. You have Ron Brown out with an injury, as well as Barry Redden. So the Ram offense is not at full strength this afternoon.
David Hill in motion, and Everett throws into the end zone, and it is caught. Henry Ellard with his 4th touchdown reception, all from Jim Everett this year.
And that is a tremendous throw on the part of Jim Everett. You can't get covered any better than that, it seemed, from this angle at least. But Henry Ellard turned around. They wanted to throw a quick hitch to Henry Ellard right at the line of scrimmage, but Renee Thompson had close coverage on him, and both Everett and Ellard went to the corner of the end zone. A tremendous throw, touch throw, as I mentioned earlier, on the part of Everett.
And a drive of 47 yards in 4 plays. And remember, it was set up by Mickey Sutton, who got a piece of the punt. The extra point by Lansford is up, and it is good out of the hole of Steve Dills. And the Rams may be on the way back. It's 21-14. In the NFC West earlier today, San Francisco defeated New England 29-24. And, of course, that means that the Rams must win today if they want the division title today. The Rams play at San Francisco next Friday night, the 19th. New Orleans and Atlanta are out of the picture. And Mike Lansford will be kicking off for the Rams with Ellis and Kozlowski D. Ellis takes it at the 3. He's to the 15 and returns across the 20, and there's a flag down on the play. Vince Newsom and Kevin Green make the tackle. It will go against the Dolphins. call on Andy Hindle. And now the yards penalized are more even. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Charlie, this is, you asked me how Everett's doing. This was supposed to be a quick hitch. Everett right there wanted to throw the ball. There was bump and run out on Ellard. The adjustment is to run the fade down the field. Both Ellard and the young quarterback made the adjustment, and a heck of a throw by Everett.
Now the ball is on the 9-yard line. Miami needs to get something going here. Otherwise, they will give up good field position to the Rams, and the Rams will continue through that open door. Over the middle, it is complete to Davenport, and he has the first down. And when you look back on this game, Jimmy, that may be the key to the whole game right there.
It might be. There was that good coverage downfield on the part of the Rams as we take a look at the scores. The Raiders coming back, well, not really, 20-10, excuse me, but San Diego crawling back into that contest, 17-all, and Houston out in front of Minnesota, 13-7 at the half. But that is what they're going to have to do. The Rams are taking away the deep passing game of the Dolphins as long as they don't get caught looking in the backfield as they did in the first half. That makes Davenport very important underneath the coverage.
A first down at the Miami 23. Davenport will lose a couple of yards. It's going to be 2nd and 12 as Mark Giroux, the inside linebacker, makes the stop. We're moving on the 10-minute mark, time remaining in the third quarter. And the Rams have pulled within 7. It's Miami 21 and Los Angeles 14. Woody Bennett is out with a sprained shoulder. So Davenport will play the second half. Here's Hampton off of the screen, and he is out to the 30, and that is it. A gain of 9 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 as Vince Newsom led the Rams defense.
In with their specialty people, a pass rusher and Gary Jeter, and a couple more defensive backs entered the football game. Mark Giroux, who made that last tackle just a play ago, has been in and playing for the injured Jim Collins and All-Pro. So this Ram defense has also had to fill some gaps because of injury.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 3. Marino from the shotgun, and he's moving Tony Nathan around. He throws, it's there, first ace dropped. Clayton now has dropped 3 very catchable passes. Jerry Gray had the coverage.
Marino audible at the line of scrimmage. He changed it, and he had the right play on. It's just Clayton who drops the football.
One of the things the Rams are doing differently, they're blitzing their linebackers, which puts man-to-man coverage in the secondary and forces Marino, in this occasion, to throw the ball before he'd like to. Pretty good throw, just wasn't caught.
Roby now with his second punt. And remember, it was Mickey Zip that got a piece of the first one. Henry Ellard set for the return. This is the best kicker in the NFL. This one, he gets off, he really hangs it up. That's second deck action. And is taken on a fair catch at the 26-yard line. 44 yards on the kick. And the Rams will take over on offense. We've got a timeout as we take one more look at hang time. We'll be back in just a moment. The Rams on offense at their own 27-yard line. It is a predictable offense.
It is. Jim Everett has completed 9 passes, 7 of those going to Henry Ellard, the wide receiver, and 2 to Eric Dickerson, the only 2 people who have caught the football this afternoon for the Rams.
Charlie, you can have a predictable offense if you can get things done. You know, when we were winning championships in the 70s, everyone said they knew what we were going to do, but you just go out and say, beat us, we're going to do what we do best.
Eric Dickerson has rushed for 55 yards, 17 carries for 55 yards, and here he comes again. To the 40, to the 50, 25 yards. Mark it 23 yards to the 50, and a first down.
Change their offense? No way. Now with an Eric Dickerson in the backfield. He gets the good blocking from the inside. That's Jackie Slater, number 78, leading it down. And then it becomes a mismatch in the secondary. When it's Dickerson against a small defensive back, such as a Glenn Blackwood, number 47, who missed that tackle, it is a pure mismatch. Dickerson has the speed to run over, around a defensive back, or the power to run over him.
Dennis Harrow with the key block. A first down. They mark it Miami 49. Play action. Pass is complete to Tim Terrell. Incomplete. Are they going to mark it there? Yes, they are. Saying that he was juggling, is that right?
Terrell, I think he was saying that Terrell did not have possession of the football. He'll lose that argument.
The Rams are saying that he does. Now, Terrell does not have a reception, nor does he have a rush. This would be his first for the Rams this year.
Well, let's take a look and see if Don Shula's objections are correct or not. It looks like he has possession from this angle, without question.
We've got a completed catch.
Fumble.
A fumble that went out of bounds. It'll be LA's ball.
Right. Good call. Renee Thompson is the man who hit him. Just over 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Rams trail by 7, and they're on the move.
That gave them enough, excuse me, Charlie, for the first down, and they are talking to the replay official up here in the booth.
The hit at the 41-yard line, I believe, and the ball went out at the 37. That may be what the discussion is. Norm Schachter is the replay official. Joe Brown is the communicator. Demons that said to Don, whatever it was that he said, and Don said the same thing back.
I've said my piece, and I'm finished. You've heard it all.
Yes. And there is the replay booth.
We have a completed catch, a fumble on the 40-yard line, which goes out of bounds. The ball comes back to the spot of the fumble. It'll be second down.
They mark it at the spot of the fumble. And it will be second down and just about a yard to go for the first down. Terrell has his first reception for the Rams. And it's 2nd and 1. And here's Dickerson. Close to the 35. He's got the first down. Bud Brown and Bob Brudzinski with the tackle. And the game's in progress all in the third quarter. Kansas City continues to lead the Rams by 10. And another note, if Kansas City wins, that means that the Jets are in the playoffs. Seattle and San Diego are locked up in a tie in the third. And Houston out in front of Minnesota. And if Minnesota loses, they're out of the playoff picture. First down for the Rams. Here's Dickerson. Nice head fake, slips a tackle. 23-yard line. 12 yards. Mark Brown makes the stop.
The Rams just continue to wear down the defensive front of the Dolphins. Originally, the Dolphins were stopping them early, but with an offensive line like Smith and Harrah and Slater, all pros, and Dickerson running behind it, they just continue to wear them down. And more and bigger chunks of yardage coming out here in the second half for Eric Dickerson as he closes in on the 100-yard mark one more time.
20 carries, 96 yards. This will be the 11th time this year in 15 games you've been over 100. Into the corner. No. Kevin House thought he had it. Renee Thompson was the defender. It'll be 2nd and 10 back at the 23.
The Rams are picking on Renee Thompson on that side of the field. He was the one that was beaten before by Henry Elliott. Does he get both feet in bounds or not? One is down. The second one is dragged behind, and that should be a touchdown. Good play on the play of House.
And they're pointing to the Diamond Vision here at Anaheim Stadium. They had that same replay
touchdown.
This angle hard to tell from.
Yeah, but the other one was fine. He makes the catch, 1 foot down, the second one in.
It's a touchdown. Now, the key word is conclusive evidence. Is this conclusive?
Well, is he juggling the football? That's what we can't see from that angle, but apparently it doesn't appear that he has been. Both feet are definitely in. The only question from that official, and it seems that he's looking down at the ground to see the feet, was whether or not he was juggling the ball.
And again, there is Norm Schachter, who is the replay official, and he is the man. And this decision rests on his shoulders. Here's the call. No, I thought Red Cash was going to step away and make the call. John Robinson, look at that.
And the Ram players signaling touchdown.
What is the crowd? Replay, replay. It has replaced defense as the crowd.
Right, one more angle. He is now looking down at the feet. The official definitely is trying to find out if he got the feet in bounds. That was the question of the official on the field. And there is no doubt from that replay that both feet were in bounds. I don't understand what the delay is.
There's Red Cashin. He doesn't understand the delay either. And so we all, a sellout house here at the Big A, waiting in anticipation of a final decision from the eye in the sky upstairs. Shouldn't really take this long.
Isn't it time for us to get rid of the instant replay?
I know, I like it. I just think we ought to do it quicker.
All we're doing is taking the questions from the booth and transferring it to the question, or from the sideline and transferring it to the questions in the booth. So what are we saving?
And time marches on.
Well, we could go get a cup of coffee down the street.
We could have taken a commercial here. Do you realize that?
No, this is too much fun to take a commercial.
No, we don't want to leave the action. It's been so long, I've almost forgotten what the discussion is over. Now, one of the problems could be that the communications is broken down, because we've had that problem before.
Hey, look, I was slow enough. I could have run downstairs and told them by now.
Yes, it's going to be a touchdown.
Now,
23-yard touchdown pass from Jim Everett to Kevin House.
takes away the high fives in the end zone. It takes away the celebration. It takes away the congratulations and the spontaneity of the crowd for a touchdown. I guess the only good thing for a defensive player, it also takes away the anger of the coach from the man who just got beaten.
But it doesn't take away the touchdown nor the tie. We're tied at 21-21. The delay in the booth. The feet were down. Did he have possession? The sideline official said yes. The touchdown stands. He will be kicking off for the Rams. Touchdown passes. He has 7 on the year. And in this quarter, he has completed 4 of 4 for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. And here is Ellis on the return, and the flag is down. And Miami again, in all probability, usually when that flag comes down, it's an illegal block in the back. And the Dolphins are going to be hurting on field position on the drive. Mel Owens made the tackle.
And that has been a continuous problem for the Dolphins during the second half. Every time they do get the football, it has been a penalty, a holding.
Holding, number 11 during the run back. First down at 10.
Crash Jensen.
Jim Jensen, nicknamed Crash because of his special team play, despite the fact being a college quarterback.
So Miami at their own 17-yard line, first down. We are tied 21-21. So the Rams have picked up 14 points on Miami in the second half, and they've shut down Marino so far. Far side pass is complete at the 20 to Davenport. The point of the catch is the 20. They'll get 3 yards. Eckert and Nolan Cromwell were there. Second down and 7. And the other games in progress. Kansas City continues to lead the Raiders by 10. Seattle with a field goal now in front of San Diego by 3. And Houston out in front of Minnesota. Those games in the third quarter, as is this one. We are tied 21-21 with 5:40 and counting. Time remaining third quarter. Reno fires over the middle. It is Dan Johnson at the 25-yard line. It's going to be third down and a couple. It is Eckert again, one of the 2 inside linebackers for the Rams, who makes the tackle.
Now this is the adjustment of the Rams in the second half. As Bob mentioned earlier, the good vision of the defensive backs. They win at halftime, and in all probability, Fritz Shermer told his defensive backs, you've got to be more aware of what's going on in the field. Forget about looking into the backfield. Because of that, it's forcing the Marino to drop the ball underneath the coverage, and that sets up the 3rd and 2 now.
6 in the secondary for the Rams. Third down and 2. Marino's pass is complete at the 30-yard line to Mark Clayton. Hold it. It was Nat Moore. And it is a first down, as Vince Newsom was right there at the 30-yard line. They needed a couple. They got 5. So Moore picks up the first down. And remember that Clayton has dropped the last 3 that have been in his hand.
Clayton having trouble with that injured shoulder. A few weeks ago, he was declared out for the season. 3 days later, he was questionable, then probable. Missed that one football game, but now he's been back into it and has his 1,000-yard season.
Tight end Bruce Hardy holds on at the 47-yard line. 16 yards and a first down as Marino waited to the last possible moment. Eckert and Cromwell for the defense.
Marino's ability to get rid of the football quicker allows his receivers downfield one extra step in trying to get open. He can hang on to the football as he takes quite a shot from number 93, Doug Reed. About a tenth of a second more because of his jackhammer release. And that allows Bruce Hardy to get behind the secondary in front of the linebackers and pick up a first down.
Marino has completed 17 of 26. He's thrown for 257 and add a few more. As Hampton pulls this one in.
You see the strategy change taking place. In the first half, a lot of deep throwing on the part of the Dolphins with the play-action passes. Now the Rams have taken that away, and Marino goes to the underneath stuff, dumping it off to his tight ends and to his running backs.
Leroy Irvin with the tackle at the Rams 49. Second down and 6. We're moving on the 3-minute mark, time remaining. Third quarter, we're tied 21-21. Defensive play at the 45. Johnson, the intended receiver, and Cromwell was there. It'll be third down and 6.
Gary Jeter, the defensive end who comes in on passing situation, gets one step closer to Dan Marino every time. There you see him, 77, working against Jeff Dellenbach, number 65. He is now about a quarter of a step away, and it seems every time he's inserted into the football game, he gets closer and closer to Dan Marino.
Third down and 6.
Man-to-man coverage on the side, but watch the throw by Dan Marino. He knows where he wants to go. The pressure comes from the outside. He throws off his back foot, and it is a perfect throw downfield to Mark Duper. Watch the end of this play. He knows where he has to go and feels the pressure, and off his back foot he tosses it. The perfect throw, and it seems a little bit of interference despite the fact Mark Duper comes up with the catch against Leroy Irvin, number 47.
And Marino has now thrown for 301 yards, and as soon as he got that one off, he was decked by Kevin Green. And we have some pushing, perhaps Dwight Stevenson with a move. Let's see what the call is. Sean Miller made contact. As you know, from tackle to tackle, once you go to that 3 or 4 point offensive stance, you can't make a move.
Encroachment, number 98 on the defense.
There was no movement.
First down.
Well, that's the second time that Sean Miller has been called for it this afternoon. He's lined up right over the nose of Dwight Stevenson. A good old all-pro center will squeeze the football when the nose tackle is staring at it, making the nose tackle jump off sides. I wonder if Dwight Stevenson isn't pulling that trick this afternoon.
It is first down and goal to go the ball just inside the 5-yard line.
Now, does he squeeze it right at the beginning or not? Squeeze it, but don't snap it. That's the trick.
Reno drills this one on the break. It is there. Touchdown. Mark Duper, a 5-yard reception, and they're picking on Irvin again. And Duper has his second touchdown of the ball game. And Marino has now thrown for 4. So Miami back in front with the extra point attempt. Larry Lee to snap, Don Strock to hold, Bob Gervais with the attempt. And they're looking, I think, for a little better piece of turf. Notice there, that's part of the infield when baseball is played here, and Don Strock wants it to be on the good grass just outside. You can see the curve of the infield where it has been resodded. High snap, but he pulls it down, and a good kick. And the Dolphins now lead the Rams by 7 again.
Charlie, there's 22 players on the field, but what Marino does is isolate it with just Duper and Irvin. He's just going to go down and run a simple 5-yard out. If there's anything that Irvin should be concerned about right here, perfect throw. If the ball was thrown anywhere to the inside, Irvin would have had a play on the football. Nice throw by Marino.
The toughest part for a receiver to run down here is it's a tough pattern because the defensive back has the end line of the end zone to help him. So he doesn't have to worry about the deep pattern. You simply have to worry about whether a receiver is going to break in or out. That time, Duper broke, and Marino threw the football well before the break of Mark Duper.
The kickoff, Wad Rebase will be booting for Miami. Dolphins lead it 28-21. 1:35. That is the time remaining third quarter here at Anaheim Stadium. White from the goal line out to the 10. Charles is to the 20 and returns for 25 yards to the 25, where the Rams will go to work with a first down. Jim Everett in his 4th start at quarterback for Los Angeles, 6'5", 212-pounder. Of course, you probably know by now that John Robinson had always said, I don't need a tall quarterback. And they asked him about that, and he said, well, the reason is I never had a tall quarterback. But it makes a difference from a receiver standpoint when your quarterback's 6'5".
Oh, it does, because if you can't look back and see your receiver, the ball simply appears out of a mass of humanity called an offensive and defensive line. It's important to see it from the point of the quarterback throwing the football.
And here is Dickerson just for a yard. So it's just as important, or maybe more important, from a receiver standpoint than from the quarterback standpoint. So the ball just doesn't appear on you.
Right. I've heard Doug Flutie and others say that, well, the size doesn't hurt. Maybe it doesn't for a quarterback. Maybe he's able to look over those big defensive linemen. But as for a wide receiver, it's easier to see the ball thrown right from the hand of a quarterback than for it to simply appear.
And then if you don't have that big height like Bob Greasy, he would get out in the passing lane so you could see him.
It must have been before I got there.
For the record, Bob Grimm, so it's okay. 2nd and 9. Everett to throw. That's good protection. Then he throws incomplete. David Hill, the intended receiver, and he was off balance then. As Everett, he is a tendency every once in a while to get caught with his weight going back.
Well, he does have an unorthodox throwing motion on occasion, and that time he seemed to be unsure whether he wanted to go with the football to Hill or not, and Hill was covered fairly well by Larry Kolick, as we mentioned before, getting his first NFL start in his first NFL game.
11 of 20 for 150 yards, 3 wide receivers for the Rams, 3rd down and 9, as Michael Young joins the trio. Eller, Young, and House. Everett from the shotgun, and here's the screen, and it is Dickerson who catches it at the 20-yard line, and the Miami Dolphins were waiting there for him. That's Brian Sauché. And that means that Hatcher will come in to kick as we take another look.
One more time, they have the lineman pulling out in front, and for Sauché, he followed the lineman down the line. He knew he'd smell the football if he did, and he hits Dickerson just as he touches the ball.
So it is 4th down and 15, and Dale Hatcher to kick. And we look for Miami to put the pressure on here. Here they come. Gets a good kickoff. Ellis takes it at the 39-yard line. He's to the 40. Slips 1 tackle. He'll get about 5 yards on the return. A 40-yard kick by Hatcher, but Miami has good field position. As we take the countdown, hold it. There were 2 flags down. There were 2 flags. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We thought we were coming to the official close of the 3rd quarter, but let's see what Red Cashin has to say. Mike McDonald was down to make the tackle for the Rams, and he is the player who snapped the ball to the punter. That kick, of course, being the last play of the 3rd quarter, and that will come into contention here, the discussion of the officials. Red Cashin discussing the options with Jim Jensen.
Holding by the offense, number 32. That penalty is declined. It'll be 1st down and 10.
They declined the penalty, the holding call on Tim Terrell. Miami wants the football. That is the end of the 3rd quarter, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. As we start a hot 4th quarter, the score is Miami 28 and the Rams 21. And Miami has the football at their own 44-yard line, 1st down. Back to the 43, so it's going to be 2nd down and 11. We had a delay of game penalty, you might say, on this touchdown pass from Everett to Kevin House, because it took the officials, I don't know, we didn't run the clock. It felt like 5 or 6 minutes before they finally decided that it was a touchdown. And Miami, of course, with this touchdown pass to Mark Duper. 2nd and 11, Marino fires, and it is there. It is inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton with a 19-yard reception. And Jimmy, let's take a look at the statistics through 3 quarters.
Well, the yards passing obviously in favor of the Dolphins. With the rushing yards, that's changed since the halftime. It's gone back over to the Rams. Dickerson with 98 yards now in rushing. It's only a matter of time with him pounding away behind that big defensive line before he does continue to pile up the yards.
1st down for Miami at the Rams' 38-yard line. Marino incomplete to Davenport. And Mark Giroux was putting the pressure on Marino. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the Rams' 38. Play selection for the Dolphins. They have run 18 times and now beginning to throw more. Passes up to 33. it is picked up. Hampton with the reception, and he ends up crawling for about the last 4 yards, and that will be enough to pick up the first down.
But the official is going to mark it back. It seemed like someone got a hand on him, forcing him to go down to the knee before he crawled and got up and got enough yards for the first down.
It may be Eckern, and here's Bob Greasy.
Charlie, you said blitz. You're right. Cromwell, the strong safety, blitzes, and the linebacker goes out and takes his pass coverage. But the Dolphins pick it up. If you stop it right there, you'll see the back picks him up. Good protection by the Dolphins.
Now the pass is complete, and they're ruling he was touched and down. I'm not sure that's a correct ruling, but that's what's going to stand. This is the 31, third down and 3. Now wait a minute. The officials are stopping the clock. Let's take another look at that. We may have an overrule by the replay official on the first down. I think that's what is going on here. Let's take another look at that, where he was touched down, because remember, you know, it's a different rule in the college. Everybody knows that.
What the ruling was on the field at the time is that Hampton is tackled right here, that the arm forces him to the ground, and there is where the ball was marked. Now the question being, was he forced down by the arm of the linebacker, or did he fall on his own? Let's see from this angle. No, he's missed completely. He was not touched whatsoever.
I think it should be a first down. It was by the way, the replay did not call down for it. It was asked by the officials on the field, and they did not overrule. So it's third down and 3 at the 31. And here comes pressure from the outside on the blitz. He has to get rid of it. Single coverage is complete inside the 10 to Nat Moore. Cromwell makes the tackle, 24 yards. Does anybody pick up the blitz or read the defenses better than Marino?
I don't know, but Tim Fox gambled on this play. Let's see if we can see it. He tries to go up and take Nat Moore off the line of scrimmage. There you see he missed Nat Moore. He had a man-to-man coverage. He tried to knock him down instead of covering him downfield. When he missed, Nat Moore stuck behind him, and enough yards for the first down. As you said, Charlie, though, it's Dan Marino who reads the coverage and gets the football off.
7-yard line, first down, goal to go. Converting on a third down and 3 with the blitz coming. Marino is now thrown for 356 yards, 23 of 34. This one is good to the 5-yard line to Hampton, as Cromwell and Irvin make the tackle at the 5. And it's second down and goal to go. So Miami leading by 7, trying to stretch the margin, and the other games in progress. The Raiders clawing back at Kansas City. Now the margin is 3. Seattle leading San Diego by 10.